Hello, and welcome to Inside My Bedroom Closet. I'm Lisa, your clinical sexologist, sexuality coach, and I'm here inside my bedroom closet. Come on and join me inside the closet, guys. We got a nice little topic for you tonight, so I'm expecting to get your feedback and let me know what you think about it, of course. And we're talking about being single and sex and being single. So, of course, if you're single, I'll need your input and any questions that you've got for me. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. So come on inside the closet and we'll get our topic started in just a few minutes. Of course, I like to take my notes, and that way I can stay on track. Of course, when you're talking about sex, you kind of get sidetracked a little bit. But this way, I'll be able to stay on track and give you some of the good information that I want you to have. And also, as I mentioned, I need you to chime in. The longer you keep me engaged, the longer I stay here. I like to give you about 20 minutes of education on the topic, and then the rest of the time is yours. And if time permits, we'll just have conversation for the next hour or so. So thank you for joining me. For those who've joined already, we're giving others just a little bit more time to come on inside the bedroom closet so you can join in on the conversation. If I squint a little bit, I did go to the eye doctor today. Still a little dilated, but I'll be able to see my notes and be able to see your questions, comments, and suggestions. So come on inside the closet. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know it's time to get out and do a few things. And that's the reason why I want to go over the topic that we have tonight, because there's quite a few singles that will be hitting the sunshine this coming spring and summer, right? So you want to get out there, you want to mingle, you want to date, and you want to maybe do it with the intention of being in a relationship, and maybe not so much. So we're going to talk about it. And of course, I've got my survey. I like to go over my surveys, so I'll let you know what the survey says about our topic, and you'll know that we're not the only ones that's talking about it or thinking about it. But come on inside the bedroom closet. Hello in Flint, Michigan. I was planning on going to South Haven, Michigan. I don't know how far that is from Flint, but of course, heard a lot about Flint. I hope you guys are doing okay with the situation with your water in that area. You know, when it's not on the news, you don't hear as much about it, but hopefully everything is okay with you in Flint. But yeah, I got to go to a part of Michigan. Michigan is beautiful. If you've never been to Michigan, it's so green. Orlando, Florida. I've been to Orlando, Florida. That's where Universal Studios, I believe. I've been to Universal Studios about 3 times. Used to work for a company, and we had a convention every spring at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. So, been to Orlando, Florida, so hello to you too. As I mentioned before, if you guys have never joined me, I've had several jobs where I've had to travel for a living. So, I've been to quite a few places, some little hideaway places for some of the jobs, and some larger cities for other jobs. But I've been to quite a few places. But yeah, right. Detroit, Michigan, Flint, Michigan, just Michigan, period. When you go to the orchards, they have so many wineries on the way to Michigan, starting in New Buffalo and all the way up. So yeah, I do a lot of the wineries toward the summer. So yeah, beautiful area. Orlando, just as beautiful. It's so magical and fun for families. And yeah, who wouldn't like the sunshine, right? They got very nice spas in Florida. So we're giving everybody time enough to come on inside the bedroom closet, and we'll be able to get our topic started for tonight. So yeah, if you want to let me know where you are, and when we get ready to get started, we'll be able to have input from pretty much everywhere, north, south, east, and west, right? And get everybody's input on if you're single You know, if you like being single, if you want to be in a relationship, or, you know, you're good with being single, you know, and everything is wonderful. Las Vegas, wonderful place. Used to go to Vegas every year with my parents. They used to give trips. I think they started when I was about 16. We had a timeshare right behind the Flamingo, so we stayed there every year right off the strip. But since that time, I've gone on as an adult, and it's changed. It's changed so much, but it's always been great food in Las Vegas, and of course, just like New York and Chicago, it's a place that never really sleeps, and you can always have fun. Arizona, I've been to Arizona quite a few times with the job that I have now, because the central office is in Arizona. So I've been to Arizona quite a few times. The one thing about Arizona, and then we'll get into our topic, but you guys got me on my travel, right? The one thing about Arizona that I found so amazing is when I saw the wild horses. I had never seen wild horses before. You think that they're only in the movies, but we went to a park in Arizona. These cowboys took us, you know, we were on this excursion, and these wild horses were just running and, you know, drinking from the water, and they didn't belong to anybody. They were just running wild. So yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. I fly into Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from Jackson, Tennessee originally, so I'm from the South. But yeah, so we've got people from all thank you guys for joining me inside the bedroom closet. But like, follow, and share. I need more followers. I need more likes. I need more shares. So I hope you guys enjoy our topic for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I do a little recap, but you can still let me know where you're from because I'm getting excited. I've been to pretty much all the places where you guys are from. So yeah, beautiful places, and peace and love to you as well. So let's get started. And we're talking about being sex and single. And when we talk about being sex and single, you know, do want to make mention that sex was originated for the married couples, and that's what monogamous means. Some people say, oh, I'm in a monogamous relationship. Well, not so much if you're not married. So you may be in a committed relationship. You could be living with someone and you and that person agree to be committed to one another, or you may have been in a long-term relationship and you guys say, okay, fine, it's just going to be us two. But as far as monogamous, it's only for the married couples. And the decoupling of sex and marriage has been going on for decades, where people have been not so much getting married just in order to get into a relationship, excuse me, to have sexual relations. As time has gone on, you know, from when our parents, you know, were growing up and they got married and had children, things have changed now. So people are more single in the city and having sex, and for different reasons, and we'll get into those reasons. But I did a study, and the most recent study that I found was done in June of 2021. So that was just maybe about a year ago, pretty much about a year ago. And it was a study on people who are having sex who are not in marriage situations as far as relationships. And it was people with no steady partner had sex the least. So if you're single and it's saying you don't have a steady partner, you may be dating every now and then for different reasons. You could be in a long distance relationship. You could be in a committed online relationship. You know, you met somebody online, you swiped left or right or whatever it's called these days. So you swiped and there you have it. You found somebody that you're really into. You guys share like interests because you read each other's bio and you are only wanting to talk to this person, and you're not really going into your DMs to see who else is looking for you. So you're in this online committed relationship, and therefore that kind of puts you in that single and sexless state as well. So people that are single without a steady partner, as I mentioned, long distance relationships. Could be that a job took you away. You may have met someone online and decided that you were going to you met someone online and you decided that you were going to have a relationship with them. You guys decide to communicate back and forth for some time, and then there you have it. You're in a long distance relationship, and therefore you're still sexless and in the city and single. So, what about hectic lifestyles? So if you have a hectic lifestyle and you meet someone even in the same proximity to where you are, if it's the same city or even, a few miles away, 30, 40 miles away, where you can still commute and see one another, but your work schedules, your hectic lifestyles don't allow you to get with each other on a regular basis, so you still find yourself a little sexless. So for several reasons, those are maybe the people without steady partners who have sex the least. Now, the study also said that the average single person has sex 33 times a year, and those are those who may be dating off and on throughout the year. They're single, but they do find themselves in maybe relationships from time to time. Say, for instance, you meet somebody, you get with them for a few months or whatever, and everything is hot and heavy. The dopamine levels are flowing, and yeah, you have sex quite a bit. And then you guys, after 6 months, maybe the communication didn't work so well, or lifestyles or whatever, and you break it off, and then therefore you find yourself single again, and you don't have anybody you want to have sex with or can have sex with, so you find yourself sexless. So those are the averages with the single people who may be dating. Now, it says that unmarried single people who live together in a household, just based on your lifestyle, stress, just the fact that you've been together for some while, it may not be as hot and heavy as it was when you first met. They have an average of 86 encounters, sexual encounters a year. And they live in the same household. It could be that they sleep in the same bed, their work schedules vary. It could be a variety of things, but all these people are single. So they're not in a committed relationship, and they can make changes how they see fit. But single people have things that they have to deal with, the things that they have to worry about. And so those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. Like, how do they deal with intimacy? When they want to spend quality time with one another. And if you're single out there, let me know how you deal with intimacy. When you want to cuddle, when you want to spoon a little bit, when feel like you want to hug. How do you deal with that? How do you allow your oxytocin levels to be released with someone that you feel like you want to be intimate with, but, you're single and there's no one there? How are you dealing with that? And then we're going to recognize how you may not be able to have a perfect partner, but you may be able to have a perfect partner right now. And everybody may not check every single box that you have, but they may check that box of not wanting to be alone or feeling lonely. Have you thought about that? Sometimes you struggle with the fact that you're alone and you're lonely and you don't know what to do about it. So therefore that intimacy is not there. You find yourself, even if you have a pet, you want to have something that you cuddle with. You find yourself, loving on nieces and nephews or your children extra or something like that, because you want to feel that somebody feels some type of love toward you, and when you have someone that you want to have an intimate connection with, of course, that's a different type of intimacy, but and a different type of love, but still the same. You want to feel that somebody wants you and needs you. So, that's something that single find what works for you best. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and I definitely need you guys to chime in because, we're going to talk about some sensitive things. Forgive me as I turn the page because, as I told you, I took my notes. Don't want to forget too much. We're going to deal with some things in a sexual content, of course, because we're talking about relationships and being single and having sex. So when you're not in a relationship, as I mentioned, you could be with someone and have that sex, that 33 times a year, and then you're not with someone. And when you're not with someone, what do? And you think about self-care. We've talked about that before, as far as being able to take care of yourself, being able to know yourself, and being able to have that release, not so much as uh, being able to have sex with someone, but just having that sexual tension released from you. And that's healthy. Being able to take care of yourself is very healthy, because, as I mentioned before, the longer that you keep those muscles active down there, so masturbating and having Kegels, what's the difference? You're exercising those muscles down there. You may not be able to have the big O from, Kegels. Some people do, because they can concentrate and they study that mindfulness. But when you're not in a relationship, taking care of yourself down there, guys, whether you are taking care of yourself, and pleasuring yourself just to have that release, or ladies, whether you are buying some type of self-care product, whether it's a vibrator, a dildo, or whatever, all that's healthy and good. And that should be done in between relationships. Just because, number one, you want to keep all your tools all lubricated and moist down there. So those are some of the things that you, of course, have to deal with when you're single. Now, also when you're single, the reason why it's probably easier to get into relationships where you're not, I guess, setting any type of expectations is based on the fact that this is what you may want to do right now. Everybody does not want to, everybody doesn't want a relationship where they have to be committed. I'm single, so everybody have their reasons for wanting to be single. And I'm not saying that you have to be married in order to have sex. Yes, of course, that's the reason why, sex was created for the monogamous couple. But if you're going to, of course, engage and be single for whatever reason, we, of course, want to say you need to be safe, first of all, but there's some things that you want to think about. So when I say you need to put yourself first, when you're single, you put yourself first. You think about yourself before you think of other people, because you're the only one that you have to care about. That's the reason why I said, number one, self-care is extremely important, because if you don't have anyone to care about you in that way, you have to care about yourself. So you can be a little selfish with yourself and your own sexuality when you are single. You can figure out the road that you want to take, and you can follow that path. Now, when you do get with someone, you can be a little selfish in bed when you're single, because you're trying to get it for the moment. It may not be for the long term. It may be a situation ship. It may be that friends with benefits ship. It could be any type of ship you want it to be, other than a relationship, because that may not be what you want. So being selfish in bed, making sure you get what it is that you want. If they ask you, you tell them, no holds barred. There is no walk of shame. It may be a walk of fame if everything went the way you wanted it to. And all things are good for each party that's involved. So you can put yourself first. Now, I also put in my notes here, you can get what you want out of the experience. And what I mean by that is, as you grow into your sexuality, no one just automatically know what type of sexual person they want to be when you're, first having sex when you're whatever age. You grow into your sexuality because you find out what turns you on. It could be that, you enjoy yoga, and then the tantric and all that turns you on. It could be that you're a person that likes to watch and being a voyeur in swinging clubs with your partner could be something that turns you on. So you grow into your own sexuality. And when you're single, those are experiences that you can have, but it doesn't know that I'm live on my TikTok. So those are the experiences that you can get up under your belt, that you can take into your intentional relationships if time permits, or if, it opens up to the point that you say, well, this is the way that I want to be sexual in my relationship, and you seek out a person. So those experiences help you. You sometimes don't have to pretty much fake any type of feelings that you have. You can be pretty much original and your authentic self when you're single, because single people, they quickly block people. When you're dating online, they may not say what you want them to say. Block. You may not like the way that a person treated you on your date. Block them. So people can block people at any given point. So it's not like you have to fake anything. You really don't even have to fake in bed. You can be your authentic self, walk away and have no shame, and it's all good. And if you want to call them the next day, you do, and if you don't, you don't. So there's no faking. No romantic future in sight, so no expectations. If you don't see that this is something that's going somewhere, it may be a right now love and not a forever love. And so no shame in my game. Let me just do what makes me feel good at the time, and when we walk away from this thing, we walk away, right? So yeah, so when you put yourself first, those are some of the things that you can think about when you are single and you're either having sex or not having sex. It's actually totally up to you. Now, also, I put you're free to explore your sexuality. So, pretty much, when you are in a relationship and you get married to someone, you may find a partner that can explore their sexuality, or you can explore your sexuality together. Sometimes when you meet someone and you're having that vanilla sex, whether it's in different positions, but it's still vanilla sex, no kink, it's kind of hard to introduce that kink, because it's like, well, where did that come from? We weren't doing that before. Put that thing away, or we're not going there. So it's kind of hard to introduce, and those things have to be coached. But when you are single and you find different kinks that you may enjoy, whether it's a little S&M, whether it's a little fantasies that you may have, whether it's living out the type of fetish or philia, that you have. And, there's a lot of different philias. People say, oh, I got a foot fetish. Fetish is a philia. So sometimes you fill out those philias when you're single, and you have every right to do so. No one can stop you from exploring your sexuality. And when you get with someone who may not have had that experience, that's when I said before, you're opened up to new experiences, because you could meet someone, another single person that was opened up to something that you're like, that sounds kind of kinky. I might like to try that. So you may try it and you may like it. So that's why different experiences of other people put you in a position where you may have your eyes open to different types of sexual experiences. And all that, of course, I'll stop, take a pause break, and say, make sure you stay safe, And you got to stay safe if you're having sex and you're single, because, there is not a commitment there like when you're married. And you can either have a couple things happen, you can either have a life born from it, baby can happen, or you can have something that else is born from it, some type of disease that you may not be, or infections, something that you may not be able to get rid of, So you want to be extremely safe. So let's get back to our subject about exploring your sexuality and knowing who you are. And as I mentioned, we don't know what kinks we may like, whether we may want to be spanked. Maybe we like anal, oral, maybe we like, all kinds of different things. And people turn you on based on the experiences that they have. So this gives you the time to test out different things with different people that may be in your environment as far as information, and it could open up your ideas and principles to area that you didn't even know exist. And that's okay, because once you get into certain relationships, you want to be free in your own sexuality. You want to know that even if you watch porn, You know how much porn is out there? If there's anything that you've ever thought about, there's porn that's got to do with it. You are not the, if you are thinking of something brand new, then it's like being a one in a million, because there's all different subjects when you search porn, so you can at least get an idea of what it is that you think you like, because sometimes when people are having those self-care moments, they watch certain types of porn. Yep, you may watch uh, anything. You may want to watch cuckolding. You may want to watch just think of it, because when I was in school, we had to watch so many different types of porn. It was amazing, and some of the subjects that I didn't even know existed that were on the list, I look it up and I'm like, wow, that's something. But in all that, it could be something that turns you on. So those different types of kinks are experienced. When you're single, you can do that. You can open up and explore. And when you get ready to settle into a relationship, you may be able to bring something new, or you may be able to, open up your partner's eyes to something that you enjoy, that turns you on, that satisfies you. Um, let's see, you, like I mentioned before, have the ability to learn from an experienced partner, engage in a temperature play. And what I meant by temperature play is what I meant earlier, when you kind of find out, like they say, the temperature in the room, when you have a feeling or an idea about something that you could enjoy. You find yourself engaging in maybe, there's so many different type of chat rooms. There's so many different types of dating rooms that you go into, that people, whatever it is you're thinking, they're thinking just like you. So when you get there, they may welcome you in, because you're a new name, you're a new face, and you are learning new lingo, new terminology, new things based on something new that you can enjoy. So those are some of the things that single people do. All right, so just looking at a few more of my notes, and then I'll take a look and see if you guys have any questions. I have been talking for about 20 minutes. You have endless options as far as dating. You're not tied down. As long as you stay safe, you're free to enjoy yourself. You can have sex as many times a day, a week, as you, if you want to. If you are just being a single person, and you're letting other people know that you're single, and you are not harming anyone, and you staying safe, not harming anyone, no one knows your business but you. So that's the thing about being a single person. You don't have anyone to answer to but you and your own conscience. And if you felt good about what you did and you're okay with it, then hey, you go to bed with it and you're fine. So that's the thing about single people. You pretty much make your own agenda. When they say everything has its own place, yeah, its own place is wherever you put it, because you're the single person in your life, and whatever perspective you put in place for yourself is what it is that you set as far as the tone and the pattern for whatever relationship you get into. Because whatever you decide that you enjoy, people go along with that tone for you, because otherwise you just dismiss them, because it's not what you're all about, especially when you find out who you are and you've spent enough time with yourself. Some people go from home with a family to married with a significant other, and the only thing you know how to do is live with your mom, dad, sister, brother, or whoever you may have lived with. And it's totally different from living with a significant other, and you may not have been out in the world to experience conversation, about sexuality. Not so much as experiences. Some people want experiences and some don't, because we talked about attraction. Some people are waiting on that spiritual attraction. They are celibate. They don't want to have sex. They're single, and they're saving themselves for marriage, and that's perfectly fine if that's what works for them. And every individual is different on their journey. You may be attracted to, as I mentioned before, someone intellectual, someone that's emotional, someone that's financial, someone that's sexual, any type of security that you feel that you need in order to feel comfortable enough to be your authentic self in a relationship. Then you give up being single. and you want to be with someone where you can cuddle and share that intimacy and tender moments and emotional times together. And then sometimes single people, it's like, oh no, I don't want to be married. I'd rather stay single. I can come and go as I please, do what I want to do, don't have to answer to anyone. But then sometimes you do want to answer to someone. You do want to have that relationship defined. You do want to, build a future with someone, not so much by yourself. You do want to share expenses with someone together so that you can build on a future, whether it's taking vacations and not having to go alone or with your girlfriends or being a third wheel sometimes. You want to be in that couple situation where it's genuine, and it may be going somewhere. So what do you think? Do you want to stay single? Do you want to be in a relationship? Is it working for you? Chime in, let me know. It's time for me to scroll and see what everybody is saying. I know when I left off, we were talking about where everyone was from. So thank you so much for joining me here inside the bedroom closet. I look forward to my Monday nights. And the reason why I do it, like people's like, well, why do you do it at the beginning of the week? It's so busy. You're right. It's so busy. It's so stressful at the beginning of the week. This is a de-stressor for me. I mean, just like when you have sex and it takes a lot of the angst out of your shoulders, you're actually just able to release and just relax. That's how it is when I talk about sex inside the bedroom closet with you guys. It's like, it's Monday. After I get off the TikTok, I go take my shower, I relax, and that was a good Monday. So yeah, it kind of de-stresses me and it gets me going and get me to doing different things. I'm putting together some stuff and I'll tell you at the end of the live. So I got some stuff I'm working on and I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, so that's why I do it on a Monday night. Yep, self-care is good. You struggle with intimacy. Well, we all do when we're single. I don't know if you're single. Sometimes even married people struggle with intimacy just based on the fact that they've been together for quite some time and the intimacy connection has grown apart and they didn't find a reason to weld it back together. They just allowed it to grow apart and you find yourself in your room. I find myself in my room. She's in her she shed. He's in his man cave. And, whether he's playing his music or gaming or chatting or whatever he's doing, or she's in her cave watching her reality shows. That's what I like to do. Doing a little writing, reading, whatever, so everybody finds themselves being parted from one another. So intimacy, for that reason, even in marriages, grow apart. So when we struggle with the fact that there is no intimacy, that's a big void that you may feel that needs to be fulfilled, and you want a hug, you want somebody to smell all over your neck and kiss you all up against your face with whiskers or whatever it is that feels good. You want that, you want to feel that intimate moment with someone. So I get it, but how did you fix it? Have you fixed it? What are you doing about it? Let me know. Self-care is good. You got to do a little self-care in order to, keep everything right. And I did another study. I think when I was reading this other study, it said, I read a lot of studies. I do a lot of reading, but I was reading another study and it said that men can have sex, very active sexual lifestyles based on their diet and how healthy they are up until the age of maybe 75 or 80, and of course that's without the aid of the little blue pill. That's with, like I said, diet, exercise, and a good healthy lifestyle. So that's, what you can do and keep your pelvic floor tight, make sure you get your prostate checked. You can have a healthy sexual lifestyle. Now with women, things change with women. Women, we have children. Those of us who don't have children, sometimes we may have things that go on with our lady parts down there. If we stay healthy and active sexually, That's a muscle down there. So if you're not getting it worked on by someone else, work on it yourself. That self-care is good for you. And I've said it once, I've said it a million times. It's going to help you with incontinence later. Incontinence means wearing depends, because you may cough or sneeze and feel a little moisture. That's because you need to do some Kegels and keep that thing tight down there, or you need to get yourself a little bullet or something where you're able to, and everybody don't like to have things inserted into them. I get it. You don't have to have that. You can, because your clitoris is for pleasure only. That's the only reason why you have one. I could say that it's there for another reason, but it's not. It's there for you to experience pleasure as a woman. So you can find things that just give you pleasure in that area. You don't have to mess with the other part. You can just stay right there. You don't have to do anything else and still feel that exhilaration of pleasure, and you'll feel your muscles contracting. That's just like doing some Kegels, and keep that stuff tight down there, and that way it'll help you a little bit later, because you definitely want to have sex the longer you can. But with women, I think they said that it was between the ages of 45 and 55, because maybe about 50, that's when women start going into menopause, some a little earlier, some a little later, some different things happen when you're going through menopause, and we'll talk about that another time. But that's the reason why you want to keep all that nice and healthy down there. So self-care is important. So thank you for commenting on that. You have great lips. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sometimes I think blocking is childish, but I do it anyway. Well, I'll say this. I've never blocked anyone. I've just not blocked. I just don't answer my phone. I don't find that I have to block anyone. When I did have a situation with someone that I didn't want to talk to anymore, I think the punishment was, my phone ringing. I know it's ringing too. The punishment is I'm not answering. So yeah, I just saw it as a benefit for me. If they know you blocked them, it's like they don't want to talk to me. They block me. I'm going to drive by a house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, whatever. But if my phone is ringing and I have made a conscious decision to just not answer it, I turn the ringer off when you call, and I just let it ring until it goes to voicemail. Then I see you left a voicemail, delete, don't even listen. That's all. But yeah, sometimes people do find themselves blocking. And if that's your way of dealing and coping with it, I get it. It may be childish to some people, but if that's your way of just not having to see that name pop up, sometimes you see that name pop up and it gives you all kind of nice, warm and fuzzy feelings in areas that they can do certain things to you and for you. So if you can deal with the fact that you don't want to have to see that name pop up, I'm with you. So let's see. If anybody else have any questions, definitely let me know. We've been in the closet for about 40 minutes. We got a little bit more time to answer some questions. So I thank you guys for being so open and candid tonight. I am from Monroe, North Carolina, outside Charlotte. Well, I am on my way to North Carolina. I'm actually going to, I don't know how long I'll be there. I have to go and aid a friend who's having surgery, and he wanted me to come down there and be with them. So I'm going down there for that, and I'll be near, I think is it Raleigh-Durham and Fayetteville. So yeah, be in those two places. So yeah, I love the North Carolina area, South Carolina. Plan on going to Hilton Head soon. And I plan on going back to Myrtle Beach because I love beaches in the summertime. So yeah, but beautiful area. So you're from a beautiful place. So hello. I want a relationship, but I want us to have our own homes. I don't want to be married. I get you. I understand. Sometimes you've been by yourself for quite a few years, and you've built a bedroom closet inside your home, and you don't have enough closet space for someone else. And I feel like if you had your house, I'll come visit with you, and I've got mine. You come and spend the night with me, and maybe I'll miss you enough that we'll miss each other sometimes and can't wait to see each other, and then the sex will be better that way. So I get it. Is that what you just said? So I get it. So yeah, some people want to be in those relationships, especially when you become a person of a certain age. You want to be in a relationship, but you've acquired your own way of living. You get up and you fix your coffee at a certain time, and you don't like a lot of things all over the countertop, and you wash towels on a certain day, and you just have your own way that you like to run the household. But you want to be in a relationship with someone, that one significant other, and then you can be married to them and be in two separate locations. And my sister and I laugh about it because we had a family member who did that, and we didn't understand it. It was her husband, and they lived in two separate places because they, just couldn't get along all the time, but they loved each other and couldn't be without each other because they didn't want to see each other with other people. So they decided to get married, and they stayed in their own houses. And we didn't understand how sometimes he woke up, we were young, didn't understand how he woke up sometimes over there. And, sometimes we didn't know where she was, and they said, oh, she's at her husband's house. But yeah, so I get it. And it's okay if that's what works for you. This is 2022. People are doing what works for them. Nothing is conventional. Weddings aren't conventional. Marriages aren't conventional. Relationships aren't conventional. And sex definitely isn't like it was created to be for the monogamous couples only. So that's the reason, we're talking about it tonight inside the bedroom closet, because, other people are engaging in activities that are good for them. You like that type of punishing, I know. Just not answering. I mean, that's the best thing, because my mother used to always say, nobody knows what you're thinking. And that's why I was never the argumentative type of girl, in relationships. I sit there quiet. People used to think I may have been an assassin or something and don't go to sleep around me, right? But you just don't know what I'm thinking, So when I'm out of your presence, I can say what I'm thinking out loud to myself. But if I just leave you alone and stop answering the phone, eventually you might get the message. It's ringing. I'm just not answering. You left a message and I just didn't call you back. So there you have it. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I do. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, right outside Houston. Well, as a matter of fact, I was in Houston last year for Juneteenth. So there you have it. I've been to a lot of places where you guys are from tonight, so I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, I was in Juneteenth in Houston, Texas last year. Trying to think of the name of the place I went to. Went to a lot of places to eat. The one place I had to meet some friends, it was Phil and Derek's. And then one exciting thing happened to me when I was down there just walking down the streets of Houston. Some young ladies walked up behind me and they tapped me on the shoulder and they was like, oh, we're part of the closet. And I was like, well, okay, and didn't even know I had fans in Houston, Texas at the time. So I'm excited that I've got someone in Port Arthur, Texas now. So hello and welcome to Inside My Bedroom Closet. Yep. So let's see. You're about 2 hours from where I'll be. Okay. All right. So I love, like I said, that North Carolina area. So you're closer to, is that Hilton Head or Myrtle Beach, or going to be in Fayetteville and what did I say? Raleigh, Durham. Yeah. So those are the places that I'll be. Not sure of the dates yet, waiting for them to get there self-situated, and I'll be able to do that. That's East Coast, got that good vibe. Yep. All right. I want a relationship benefit without the relationship. And that's what we're talking about tonight. There's different types of relationships you can have when you're single. But the relationship benefits, what is that? The emotional, or the being able to go out with somebody when you want to, don't have to look for a partner. They're just there when you need a date for a movie, dinner, sex. If you're looking for somebody to go to a social event, there's a concert. Frankie Beverly and Mays was in town this past weekend, and I could not get good tickets, so I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be all the way up there. And I know if you've seen Frankie once, you've seen him a million times, but it's always good when he breaks down on that stage and do his thing. So the OJs are coming to town soon because they're going to do their retirement tour, and I am going to see that. So yeah. So but that relationship benefit without the relationship. So what part do you want to do without? The what? The what? The commitment of being in the relationship, but that's part of the commitment of being able to just tap somebody on the shoulder and say, hey, let's go here, let's go there, let's do it, let's stay in, let's cuddle, let's spoon, let's do whatever. That's part of the relationship benefit. So what's the part that you could do without? Hello, hello, hello to you too. And thank you guys for joining me inside the bedroom closet. So, got a little bit more time for you to answer some questions or let me know where you're from. Our topic tonight was being single and having sex, and that is being able to live without the consistent intimacy, being able to live without the consistent commitment. And that's, part of it that some people like, the experience of being able to explore different parts of themselves and their own sexuality and individuality when you're single. When you go from even living in a household with a family to living on your own, that's a different transition. And it's even more so different when you go into a relationship with a significant other. We did talk about a study that stated that people who do not have a steady partner and are single don't have sex as often. They have the least amount of sex when they don't have a steady partner. And if you are a average single person, which means you date, maybe get with somebody, maybe once or twice a year, or swipe left or right and decide you want to have sex with them, you may have sex on an average of about 33 times a year. But the unmarried single people who live together may have hectic lifestyles, may have other things that are going on with them, whereas they're not able to get, and plus, it's just like right there all the time, and sometimes they just don't want it. But they may have sex about 86 times or more per year. And that's the average couple of average age, not the younger couple, and even younger couples, because I do know a young couple and they don't have a great social lifestyle. They got together, lived together, and therefore their sex life isn't as great because one is very discontent with the fact that they don't have a social lifestyle, right? So even when you're young or middle-aged or even older, sex is extremely important in your relationship, but there's other facets of your life that must be in order for that to take place. You want your financial aspects of your life to be okay. You don't want to be all stressed out about your finances, and it's hard to even date because you can't even think, your finances just overwhelm you. And then socially, you're not a social butterfly. You're allowing yourself to shelter yourself in place because you don't want to get out there and just be in the midst. You don't know where to go. Heck, you can meet somebody at the grocery store even. So you just have to put yourself out there and not be so sheltered. I was around a young lady and she was just talking about how open she was, and I'm just so open, and people talk, and the whole time her arms were folded, which meant she's so guarded. And I told her, I said, well, you're so open, but you're sitting there with your arms folded to the point that I folded my arms while she was talking to me. She was like, it is cold in here. And I'm like, girl, it's not cold in here. You're cold. Unfold your arms, welcome people into your atmosphere, especially when you're single. I don't know, some people are still wearing masks and some are not, but if you're able to smile, at least smile at somebody. When you were wearing masks, nobody could really tell whether you were smiling or not. They may just, talk to you just based on the fact they could see your eyes, but you got to be open. So when you're single, you do have to be a little bit more open. I say keep yourself together at all times, and that just means making sure your hair is combed and you don't have to wear a full face of makeup, because I don't. I put on I used to do that when I first started doing TikTok. You guys make me feel so welcomed and comfortable. I just put on a little lip gloss because I do have, a thing with making sure I wear lip gloss. So I just put on a little lip gloss and here I am, on TikTok. But yeah, sometimes when you're single, gotta do a little something extra. And when you're married, you need to just make sure you stay consistent with yourself. You do want to turn your partner on. You do want to smell a little good. You want to fix yourself up to the point that it's like, oh, you got a haircut, got your hair done, you're looking good. Maybe a compliment is forced out of them when you force yourself to come out of the box and keep yourself at a certain level for them to enjoy as far as the relationship. Everybody wants somebody to look at. You don't want them taking their gaze outside the household. So you give them someone to look at every now and then. Now, my grandfather used to say that, nobody wants to look at a Christmas tree all year round, which means you don't have to put on the whole full face of makeup, get your hair all dolled up and everything's pushed up, laced this all the time. Some people like you at your natural state, the way that you are. So when you're naturally the way that you are, walking through the store or wherever you are, and someone meet you, they like what they see naturally. And that's the thing about being single. Sometimes people catch you off guard. And, you're like, oh, I didn't even put anything on and I was leaving the house, and people catch you on your worst days. Well, make one of your worst days your best days. Just make sure you clean and smell good. That's all that really, really matters. So, yeah. So any other questions, comments, or suggestions for me inside the closet? Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Well, guys, of course, on Monday nights, I enjoy coming inside the closet to bring you information in relationship to sex, love, relationships, and health. So that's the next part I want to talk to you about, because I've been putting together, just based on one of my clients asking me to do this, is I've been putting together some recipes on some smoothies for female health and male health to help your libido. So all these are natural things that you can purchase at the grocery store, health food store. You could put a little twist on it, add a little protein powder if that's what you want to do, but it definitely helps you with your libido. So these are natural fruits that are high in different types of vitamins and nutrients that increase that stimulant that gives you that jolt in your libido. So I'm going to put that together and start having that available on my website. My website, by the way, is InsideMyBedroomCloset.com. I do invite you to go to my website. Just take a look around. I've got a musical digital download. I think it's only $5, but it's Central Poetry. So I have that available if you need to book me for any reason. My press kit is available there for download, but I definitely want you to sign up for the email. So when you go to the website, it asks you for your email address. Sign up with your email address, and then I'll be able to send you some information and about the smoothies and how you'll be able to get that information. So let's see if anybody else have any other questions. How do I get this 65-year-old man to stop wearing these old suits? He wear these old Okay, well, I mean, like not your style at all. Well, a couple things that you can do. Everything can be altered. I don't know if the style is, you know, the longer jacket. If that's the case, you can always get those suits cut, off. Go to a very good tailor to get those altered. You can possibly, show him photos of the type of suits that you like, and the next time that he gets a suit, just let him know, God, this suit, this turns me on. Anything that turns you on, make you a little juicy, make you a little hot, make you do some things, start twisting around, doing a little dancing, let them know that, this gets your juices flowing. May want to make, they usually take note of things like that. So sometimes that style is just based on what they think looks good on them. And you can let them know what you think may look good on them too, based on what what your style is, what you may like. Now, 65-year-old may be set in their ways, maybe a little colorful. I don't know if it's the color that throws you off, because I do know sometimes I used to date this guy and I was afraid to date him in the summertime because I didn't know what he would come out the house in. What color? Peach, green, blue, yellow, orange, purple. I didn't know, but wonderful person all around, but you just never knew, where he was going to come out of. And I just started saying, I'm a more conservative person. I'm really, really turned on, and yeah, I really get turned on by a guy that's a little bit more conservatively dressed, that smells good, wears great shoes, extremely groomed. I understand when you work, sometimes that little rough stuff looks good, even though it may be lined or something like that. You don't have to be shaved up all the time. But, I kind of mix it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, the message was I'm a conservative type person. I'm not real flashy. So all them, colors just kind of, put me on my guard a little bit. So yeah, sometimes it's the way you say it and not what you say. So you want to watch the way you say it, and what you say come across a little bit better. So yeah. So yeah, try it that way. And you always want to, and this is the one thing I want to let you guys know, communication is extremely important in any relationship. And every time I talk to a couple, an individual, the one thing they say is our communication is not great. It's the way you communicate with the individual. All the loud talking, that turns a person off. So you have to make sure that you are watching your tone. Number one, because you are speaking to another individual, you don't want to talk down to anyone, and you don't want to talk at someone. You want to speak to them. One of the things that I would recommend that you do is when you want to speak to someone about something that's serious, reach out and touch their hand, touch them on the shoulder, sit on their lap, look into their face, rub their face while you're talking to them. That, and the touch, or the sense of touch, calms a lot of things, and it automatically calms someone that may be on the defense based on the fact that you know you're getting ready to have a serious conversation, and they putting up that defensive wall because they don't want to be faced with that. But based on your tone, based on the fact that you are touching them, and you want to be tactful, you don't want to be tactless and just say anything. I just say anything. I say what comes up because I ain't ashamed. Well, sometimes you should be ashamed of yourself, because you wouldn't want someone to talk to you like that. If someone just said whatever comes out of their mouth to you, then you wouldn't think that that would be so great. So be tactful. Think about the way that you say things, and don't hit below the belt. You don't want anyone to feel less than when the conversation is over. You want them to take what you said to heart, not to their head, because when it stays in their head, that's something that they won't forget that you said to them. But when they take it to heart, that may be something that they can change for you. But that's all I got for you guys. I've been in the closet for about an hour tonight. That's my time. I thank you so much for joining me here inside my bedroom closet, and I'll be back. If all else fails, of course, I'll see you next Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central, right here inside my bedroom closet. And until then, don't forget to like, share, and follow.